I paid for a luxury vacation for both families. My MIL complained about everything, then accused me of stealing her diamonds and called the police. Security footage revealed the shocking truth. Imagine dropping everything, pouring your heart and soul, and a lot of money into a dream family vacation, only for it to blow up in your face. Not because of a natural disaster, but because someone you loved tried to frame me for theft. Yeah, my mother-in-law single-handedly turned paradise into a living nightmare. So, picture this. My husband and I were on top of the world. Last year, we hit the lottery, like really hit it. It wasn't just a life-changing amount. It was enough to wipe out years of financial stress. First thing we did? Paid off our mortgage. No more monthly payments, just freedom. Then we splurged a little, got ourselves a brand new car. Smart, right? Invested a chunk of it too. But after all that, we still had this incredible surplus, and honestly, we felt amazing. Our families had actually dropped a few hints, saying how great it would be if we could treat them to a vacation now that we had the means. And we thought, you know what? This is it. This is our chance to do something truly special. So, we decided to go all out. We planned what we envisioned as this epic, dream vacation for everyone. My parents, his sister, Sil, and her kids. And when I say all out, I mean everything was covered. Flights, hotels, food, activities, every single expense was on us. We just wanted everyone to relax, laugh, and make incredible memories together, hoping it would bring us all even closer. We imagined sunshine, smiles, pure joy. What we got instead? An absolute, soul-crushing disaster. And it was all thanks to my mother-in-law. My MIL, as I'll call her. From the second our plane touched down, it started. The nonstop complaining. Oh, the humidity. It's so sticky, I can't breathe. Now, don't get me wrong. I get that heat and humidity can be uncomfortable. But we were on a tropical vacation. In a tropical country. Like, what did she expect? Snow? She knew exactly where we were going. But that didn't matter. Every step, from the baggage claim, through customs, all the way to the resort, it was just a constant stream of negativity. The air was too thick. She felt uncomfortable. The rest of us were trying to be excited, trying to soak it all in, but her whining was like a dark cloud following us. Honestly, by the time we even reached the resort, I was already completely drained. I bit my tongue, tried to stay calm, just hoping it would get better. My husband and I, we booked the absolute best oceanfront rooms for both our parents. Think breathtaking views, huge layouts, private pools, the kind of luxury you dream about. My parents were ecstatic, genuinely so grateful, especially my mom. She hasn't traveled much, and seeing her excitedly snapping selfies everywhere, it just warmed my heart. But my MIL? No. Immediately, the complaints started again. First, the sunlight. Yes, the gorgeous, natural sunlight pouring into their oceanfront room was too bright. She actually said she would have preferred a corner room. Hello, we're at a beach resort, not a cave. There were blackout curtains. She could have just closed them. But no, she just had to harp on and on about how annoying the sun was. Then, the private pool. A private pool. Most people would kill for that. For her, another issue. She was worried about water coming into the room. Said she'd prefer a room without a pool. Her husband, Phil, bless his heart, tried to pacify her, promising to keep the curtains drawn and no pool water inside. But then, she turned to my husband. She actually yelled at him, accused him of not booking a better room, even though it was literally the most luxurious option available. My head was throbbing. I just left, letting my husband deal with his mom, and went to meet my parents. Thank God for them. Pure joy, pure gratitude. After lunch, we all agreed. Beach time. Sun, waves, fresh air, perfect. But, naturally, my MIL flat out refused. Too sunny, she said. Mosquitoes. Honestly, my husband and I were so over it. We didn't even argue. Fine, stay here then. So, the rest of us went. And it was glorious. We swam, built sandcastles with the kids, just genuinely enjoyed ourselves. We were starving by the time we were done, so we decided to grab dinner at a nice restaurant nearby. And, because we're decent people, we even got takeout for my MIL, seeing as she'd chosen to stay behind. Big mistake. When we got back to the hotel, she was fuming. Absolutely livid at my father-in-law and my husband, raging about how we hadn't taken her out to dinner. The audacity. She had actively chosen to stay, never once mentioned wanting to go out. But now, she was acting like we'd deliberately abandoned her. My husband, ever the peacemaker, tried to calm her down, offered her the takeout we'd brought. She sneered, literally turned up her nose, and snapped. I already ate alone. I don't want your pity food. The next morning was supposed to be perfect. A private cruise, just for our family. No crowds, open sea, sun, unforgettable memories. This was going to be the highlight. I was so excited. But as we were getting ready to leave, I saw it. My MIL, putting on her most prized possession, those expensive diamond earrings. You know, the ones she'd flaunted for years, the special anniversary gift, the ones she loved to tell everyone how valuable and sentimental they were. Instantly, my stomach dropped. I know my MIL, forgetful, careless. And we were going to be on a boat, all day, on the water. The last thing I needed was for her to lose one of these precious things and turn it into another drama. So I tried. Politely, gently. I suggested she either put them in the hotel safe or just be extra careful. Her response? An eye roll. A dismissive wave of the hand. You're overthinking things, she snapped, in that annoying tone. I'm not a child who needs reminding. Fine. I let it go. And that was my mistake. We weren't even halfway through the cruise when suddenly, a piercing scream. My MIL. My husband and I rushed over, hearts pounding. She was frantic, digging through her purse, breathing heavy, hands shaking. She looked utterly distraught. My earrings, she wailed. They're gone. Both of them. My stomach just dropped. I knew it. I just knew it. I felt this horrible sense of dread. We tried to calm her, asked her to retrace her steps. She said she'd gotten hot, taken them off, and tossed them into her purse. Now, poof, gone. I had warned her. This whole mess could have been avoided. My husband, my parents, and I, we all started searching. Her purse, her seat, the floor, every nook and cranny. But deep down, I knew it was hopeless. We were in the middle of the ocean. If they'd slipped out, they were gone forever. But my MIL? She was in full-blown meltdown mode. This is a disaster, she cried. Priceless. And then, instead of accepting she'd been careless, she suddenly switched. The accusation. Someone must have stolen them, she shrieked. My husband actually laughed out loud. He couldn't help it. Mom, he said, we're on a private cruise. It's just us. Who exactly is this mysterious thief? And then, my jaw hit the deck. She turned to me, pointed her finger, right at my face, in front of everyone. You, she screamed. You must have been the one who stole them. For a split second, I was utterly paralyzed. Did she really just accuse me of theft? In front of my husband, my parents, her own husband, the kids, everyone? She started screaming, claiming I'd been watching those earrings from the beginning, that my warning was proof I'd been plotting to take them. She insisted I must have seen her put them in her purse and then stolen them. My husband and I exchanged a look. Honestly, we were both just dumbfounded by the sheer ridiculousness. I took a deep breath, keeping my voice as calm and firm as I could manage. Listen, I told her. I brought up your earrings out of concern. I would never steal them. What would I possibly gain? My husband and I literally just paid for this entire luxury vacation for everyone. We paid off our house, bought a new car, we're financially secure. Why on earth would I need your used-up earrings? But she wasn't listening. She needed someone to blame, and since I'd warned her, I was her scapegoat. Then came the real low blow. She scoffed, a truly condescending sneer, and spat. Oh, spare me. You and your pathetic parents have no money. Yeah, you got lucky with some lottery money you won with my son. But don't forget where you come from. My husband and children would never steal from me. So that leaves you and your low-class parents. You're the newest member of this family, and I don't trust you one bit. My blood ran cold. Low-class parents? My parents, who worked their backsides off their entire lives, who raised me with integrity, who never asked for a thing from anyone, who supported me always. Until that moment, I tried to keep calm, thinking she was just panicking. But this was unacceptable. My blood boiled over. You can insult me all you want, I yelled, my voice shaking with rage. But you do not get to bring my parents into this. My family has shown you nothing but respect, and I will not tolerate you speaking about them that way. And then, she lunged. Without a single warning, she grabbed my purse right off me. She had the audacity to snatch my bag and start ripping through it like a mad woman. My husband lost it. His voice boomed, "Stop, Mom." He was furious, but I put a hand on his arm, a silent plea to hold back. I had nothing to hide. Let her humiliate herself. She tore through my purse, clearly expecting diamonds to come flying out. Of course, she found nothing. Wild-eyed, desperate, she then lunged at my mother's purse. My mom shrieked, absolutely furious, demanding her bag back. My husband, already at his breaking point, yanked my mother's purse out of Emil's grasp and stepped between them. He physically blocked his own mother. "Back off, Mom," he snapped. "You've lost your mind." My parents' faces were bright red, a mix of embarrassment and pure fury. Phil, my father-in-law, just looked like he wanted the floor to swallow him whole. My Emil had absolutely lost her mind. She started screaming at the captain, demanding he turn the boat around immediately. Why? Because she wanted to call the police and have me and my parents arrested. She just kept shrieking, without a shred of proof, that we were little thieves who had plotted to take her earrings. She raved about punishing us. I swear, if it weren't illegal, I would have pushed her overboard myself. Phil tried to calm her, but she wasn't listening. My husband, though, he stood tall. He defended us, saying we'd never do anything like that. Then, with a sharp edge to his voice, he told her, "Mom, if you're so desperate, I'll buy you an even better, more expensive pair. Just stop with these baseless accusations." But she just crossed her arms, face twisted in fury. "They're special anniversary gifts from Phil. Irreplaceable. I don't want new ones. I want my earrings back." At that point, I knew it wasn't about the earrings anymore. It was about losing face. She'd thrown such a huge tantrum. Admitting she was wrong would be an even bigger humiliation. And my Emil never admits she's wrong. She kept demanding we turn back. "If you really didn't steal anything," she spat, "then you should have no problem with me filing a police complaint." I just shook my head. This woman was completely unreasonable. I looked at my husband. He was done. His patience had evaporated. There was no reasoning with her. We told the captain to turn back. He complied. The one person who'd been silent through this whole nightmare? Sil, my sister-in-law. She didn't support her mom's accusations, but she didn't say a single word to defend me either. The second we hit the mainland, my Emil went straight for her phone. Despite my husband and Phil begging her to drop it, she called the police. And when the officers arrived, she put on a show, dramatically insisting that my parents and I were the prime suspects. "No other logical explanation," she declared. "One of them had to have taken them." She spoke with such conviction, you'd think we were hardened criminals, not her family. The whole experience? Traumatizing. The officers, just doing their job, had to question all of us. My parents, too. We stood there, utterly humiliated, explaining ourselves. And then came the worst part. They searched our bags. My mom, already so shaken, almost broke down as they rifled through her belongings. To see her, after everything, treated like a common thief, it was unbearable. But then, the police mentioned security footage. Cameras on the cruise? We hadn't even thought about it. But there they were, and they'd captured everything. The officers watched intently. And then, the truth. It wasn't me. It wasn't my parents. It was Sil. The footage clearly showed her taking the earrings and slipping them into her own purse when no one was looking. There was no mistaking it. It was all right there, undeniable. The police turned to her, and my Emil's face, it just froze. Her mouth hung open in utter shock. The woman who'd spent hours accusing us stood there, speechless. They immediately searched Sil's bag. And sure enough, tucked away inside her purse were the missing diamond earrings. Sil's face turned a deep, burning red. She stammered, trying to find an excuse. Opened and closed her mouth. Nothing came out. She was caught. She knew it. She tried to hastily claim one of her kids must have mistakenly put them in there. But the police were firm. The footage was crystal clear. Sil had taken them. No way to blame the kids. That's when she broke down, sobbing. My husband, still simmering with rage, demanded to know why she'd stayed silent. Why she'd let her own mother falsely accuse and humiliate us, our parents, when she knew the truth. She just cried harder, turning to my Emil, mumbling apologies. Was she sorry she stole? Or just sorry she got caught? I still don't know. And get this. My Emil, the woman who had just called the police, made a massive scene and demanded our arrest, suddenly chose not to press charges. The second she found out her own daughter was the thief, she instantly softened. "Oh, my poor baby," she cooed. "She must be going through a tough time. This isn't like her." Her hypocrisy was just jaw-dropping. She was so ready to throw me and my parents under the bus, but her own daughter? Immediate coddling. After that shocking reveal, the rest of our dream vacation was utterly ruined. Gone. The betrayal, the humiliation, the sheer absurdity of it all had sucked every ounce of joy right out of us. My husband, my parents, and I. We wanted nothing, absolutely nothing, to do with my in-laws or Sil for the remainder of the trip. Phil and Emile tried to apologize, but it was just empty words. No apology could ever undo the damage she'd done. She had falsely accused us, dragged my parents through unbelievable humiliation, and called the police on us, all while the Real thief sat right beside her. There was no moving past that. We actively avoided them. If they approached us, we just firmly told them we weren't interested in spending any more time together. My husband did try to talk to Sil, hoping for some explanation. Why steal from her own mother? Why let us get interrogated? But Sil? She never gave him any real answers. For the rest of the trip, she and her kids barely left their room. Guilt? Embarrassment? Fear of her mother's wrath? We don't know. Since we got back from that disastrous trip, my husband and I have completely cut off my MIL. I want nothing to do with her after what she put us through. But she won't stop. Relentless calls, texts from different numbers, even showing up at our house unannounced, begging my husband to forgive and forget. In her mind, we're the unreasonable ones. She actually thinks we're overreacting because nothing really happened to me or my parents. She just doesn't grasp the emotional damage. Her total lack of remorse. It just fuels my anger. If she'd shown any genuine regret, if she'd actually acknowledged her horrific behavior, maybe there could have been a tiny sliver of hope for reconciliation. But instead, she plays the victim, acting like we're punishing her unfairly. I've made my stance crystal clear to my husband. If he chooses to forgive his mother after everything she's put me and my family through, then I'm done with him. I refuse to be with someone who can turn a blind eye to such betrayal and humiliation. This isn't just about an apology. It's about respect. It's about setting boundaries with people who think they can walk all over us and face zero consequences. A lot of you have asked some really good questions, so I wanted to address them. First, why did Sil steal the earrings? Honestly, I still have no idea. She never gave a real explanation. My husband tried to talk to her, but she just cried and evaded. Was it for money? Resentment towards her mother? A bizarre impulse? At this point, I truly don't care why she did it. What burns me up is that she sat there, silent, while my MIL dragged me and my parents through absolute hell. Second, why did my MIL immediately suspect us? Because she's never liked me. Period. I come from a less privileged background, and even with our lottery win and financial security, she's always looked down on me, always seen me as an outsider, even after 3 years of marriage to her son. Third, why didn't my husband defend us more aggressively? He did. He was furious with his mother for what she put us through. He yelled at her multiple times, even offered to buy her new earrings just to shut her up, something she absolutely didn't deserve. Looking back, he defended me to the police. But this was his mother acting like this. He was in shock. It was hard for him to process. But in the end, he chose my side. Completely. Finally, why didn't my MIL press charges against Sil? Simple. My MIL is a hypocrite. She was so eager to get me and my parents arrested over nothing. But when the truth hit, suddenly she wanted to sweep it all under the rug. Instead of admitting she was wrong, she coddled Sil, made excuses. Poor baby, you know? And yes, I've made it clear to my husband. If he chooses to let his mother back into his life after what she did to us, then I'm gone. This isn't just about an apology. It's about respect for me, for my family. If he wants to maintain a relationship with someone who treated his wife like a criminal, he'll do it without me. So, this is a more recent update. Just the other day, my MIL showed up at our house, completely unannounced. She knew my husband wasn't home. She clearly planned it, hoping to corner me. At first, I just ignored the knocking, but she was relentless, yelling that she wouldn't leave until I spoke to her. I cracked the door open, just barely, and told her to leave. I made it crystal clear. I had nothing to say, and I didn't want to hear anything from her. But she wasn't having it. She actually admitted she shouldn't have called the police on me and my parents. But it wasn't a real apology. Oh no. She immediately tried to justify herself. If you were in my position, You would have done the same thing, she claimed. I would never have suspected my own daughter. I looked her dead in the eye and told her, clearly, you don't know your children as well as you thought. Because if you did, you wouldn't have blindly accused innocent people while your own daughter had those earrings the whole time. Then she switched gears. She talked to Sil and finally figured out why she stole them. Apparently, Sil is struggling financially. Her ex stopped child support months ago. He's out of the country, and she can't reach him. Her job doesn't pay enough. Maya Mael tried to frame it as Sil having too much pride to ask for help. So when she saw the earrings, she just took them, with the intention of paying her back, of course. And now, she's deeply humiliated. I had to take a deep breath to keep from actually laughing. So, now we're supposed to feel bad for Sil? After she let her own mother drag me and my parents through hell, saying nothing? Maya Mael then tried the let's move on tactic. She wants a good relationship with us, but only if I'm willing to let this go. In other words, no responsibility, just pretend it never happened. I wasn't having it. I looked her straight in the eye again. I will never forgive you, I said. You haven't truly apologized. Not to me, not to my parents. And even if you did now, it's too late. The damage is done. The humiliation, the accusations, the complete dismissal of our feelings afterward, that's not something I can just get over. I told her I wanted her gone. And if she ever showed up unannounced at our house again, I would call the police. That's when she lost it. Her voice escalated, yelling at me, calling me disrespectful for daring to speak to her that way, as if I should just sit there and take it. I didn't argue. I didn't raise my voice. I just calmly shut the door in her face. She knocked a few more times, but eventually, she left. I haven't told my husband about this yet, but I know she'll spin it. She'll paint herself as the concerned mother, trying to fix things. She'll expect us to sympathize with Sil. But after everything, I don't have an ounce of sympathy left for either of them. It's been almost a month and a half since that last confrontation with my Emile. And even though my husband and I have completely cut her off, she absolutely refuses to leave us alone. She's been relentless, calling, texting from new numbers, showing up unannounced, even trying to enlist other family members to pressure us into forgiving her. At first, we hoped she'd just give up, move on. But it's clear now, she has no intention of stopping. My husband has told her repeatedly, firmly, to leave us alone. She just won't listen. She keeps insisting that we're destroying the family by holding a grudge. So my husband and I, we've made up our minds. We're doing what we have to do. We are suing my MIL for emotional distress and harassment. And let me tell you, she's acting completely shocked by this news. We know this is going to cause even more drama within the family. But at this point, we honestly don't care. She had every single opportunity to make things right. Instead, she chose to double down, to continue her harassment, to dismiss our pain. If she won't stop on her own, then we will make her stop. This isn't just about winning a lawsuit. It's about finally getting some peace, protecting our boundaries, and showing her, once and for all, that her actions have consequences. We're done.